Hello friends, in this video lecture we'll discuss hypertension, hypertensive heart disease, hypertensive vascular disease and autopsy findings in case of hypertension. So hypertension is common condition affecting around 25% of population, and ideal normal blood pressure is 120 by 80 millimeter of mercury. So above which level this pressure becomes damaging to vessels and heart. So sustained diastolic pressure above 89 millimeter of mercury or sustained systolic pressure above 139 millimeter of mercury becomes damaging. It is associated with increased risk of atherosclerosis, and if there are other conditions associated like diabetes mellitus, the threshold is even lower. Mechanism is unknown in majority. About 95% of hypertension is idiopathic, known as essential hypertension. However, it arises from multiple factors with combined effect of multiple genes and environmental factors. So let us just go through various factors and mechanism by which blood pressure is maintained. So blood pressure depends on predominantly two things. One, cardiac output. Second is peripheral resistance. Peripheral resistance is dependent on whether the peripheral vessels are constricted or dilated. So all these factors, angiotensin, catecholamine, thromboxane, endothelin, causes constriction, and by constriction it increases peripheral resistance. And nitric oxide, prostacyclin, kinins, atrial natriuretic peptide, all these causes dilation of the peripheral vessels and decreases the peripheral resistance. And cardiac output depends on heart rate, contraction and blood volume. So if there is increased cardiac output with increased peripheral resistance, blood pressure will increase. And if there is decreased peripheral resistance with decreased cardiac output, blood pressure will decrease. So if there is increase in blood volume due to any of these factors like excess dietary sodium intake or inadequate excretion, as in case of renal failure, or hyperaldosteronism, any of these factors can increase blood volume. And if there is increased peripheral resistance due to, for example, pheochromocytoma, so increased blood volume with increased vasoconstriction increases blood pressure. So in response, heart secretes atrial natriuretic peptide, which will cause vasodilation and causes decreased peripheral resistance, and it causes excretion of sodium and water, and by which it decreases blood volume. So with this it decreases blood volume and peripheral resistance, causing decreasing blood pressure. Now the role of kidney. If blood pressure is decreased, then juxtaglomerular cells of kidney will secrete renin, which will convert plasma angiotensinogen into angiotensin 1, which will be converted to angiotensin 2 by angiotensin converting enzyme. This angiotensin 2 causes constriction of peripheral vessel with stimulating secretion of aldosterone, causing resorption of sodium and water, by which it increases blood volume, and by causing vasoconstriction it increases peripheral resistance, and by both this mechanism it will increase the blood pressure. So this is how the blood pressure is maintained, and diseases involving genes of any of these factors can cause hypertension. So in classification of hypertension, it is classified into two categories. First, benign hypertension, which is further classified into essential hypertension or hypertension because of secondary causes, and second type, malignant hypertension. Let us first take essential hypertension, which accounts for up to 95% of the cases. Idiopathic, but probably related to genes involved in sodium resorption by epithelial sodium channel in collecting tubule, or genes involved in regulation of renin-angiotensin aldosterone system. Now, in some cases, even single genetic mutation or polymorphism can give rise to hypertension, but in most of the cases, it is interaction of mutation in several genes that influence blood pressure with variety of environmental factors. So as we discussed, multiple factors are involved. Gene involved in various factors that maintain blood pressure, race and gender. People with family history of hypertension has a higher tendency to develop hypertension. Then there are environmental factors which can be non-modifiable or modifiable. Non-modifiable like age. It is seen that even in normotensive people with advancing age, vessel wall has tendency to undergo sclerosis. Then there are modifiable risk factors like inactivity, stress, obesity, tobacco, salt intake and alcohol consumption. So it is multifactorial. So generally interaction between these factors causes hypertension. So what is the effect on the vessels of this high pressure or say essential hypertension? So what happens, this high pressure and chronic hemodynamic stress injures the endothelium, and endothelium becomes leaky and starts leaking plasma protein which get deposited on the blood vessel wall, and under the light microscopy it appears as this eosinophilic hyaline thickening of the vessel wall which narrows the lumen, which is known as hyaline arteriosclerosis, seen with essential hypertension. Now what are the secondary causes of hypertension? It can be renal like chronic renal failure, renal artery stenosis, endocrine like pheochromocytoma, Cushing syndrome, hyper and hypothyroidism, hyperaldosteronism, and others like alcohol, NSAID, contraceptive, pregnancy-induced, coarctation of aorta, atherosclerosis. All these are the secondary causes of hypertension. Now, what are the complications of hypertension? It is associated with risk of atherosclerosis, ischemic heart disease, heart failure, cerebrovascular accident, renal failure, aortic dissection, multi-infarct dementia. So this figure shows effect of hypertension and complications in various organ systems. In brain it may cause stroke or cerebrovascular accident. Hypertensive encephalopathy. In eye it may cause hypertensive retinopathy. In heart, myocardial infarction, hypertensive cardiomyopathy and heart failure. In kidney, hypertensive nephropathy and chronic renal failure. Now second type, malignant hypertension, which is hypertensive emergency. Severe hypertension with acute impairment of one of the organ system. So above which level of pressure is called malignant hypertension. So blood pressure systolic more than 180 millimeter of mercury and diastolic more than 120 millimeter of mercury. May cause renal failure, retinal hemorrhages, papilledema, hypertensive encephalopathy. Around 1% of essential hypertension patients develop malignant hypertension, generally due to improper following treatment protocol. Others are due to secondary causes, mostly renal. So this is multiple retinal hemorrhages in ophthalmoscopy caused by malignant hypertension. Now, what is the effect of malignant hypertension on vessel? Because of very high pressure, first it damages the endothelium, and endothelium leaks plasma protein. Then there is segmental dilation, which causes damage and necrosis of the smooth muscle cell. which in response proliferate very rapidly into concentric layer under the influence of growth factor, and there is fibrinoid necrosis and deposition of fibrin. So all this concentric proliferation of smooth muscle, deposition of fibrin with fibrinoid necrosis, and deposition of plasma protein give rise to this type of onion skinning thickening of the vessel wall known as hyperplastic arteriosclerosis. So what is the effect of hypertension on heart? Hypertension causes pressure overload, which will increase the cardiac work and wall stress. Heart responds by compensatory mechanisms like hypertrophy of myocytes and dilation of chamber. So up to certain level the compensatory mechanisms work, but over a period of time, if the cause is not removed, there can be systolic or diastolic failure, and system responds to failure by releasing hormones, Frank-Starling mechanism, adaptation of cardiac muscles. Initially it works, eventually it doesn't. So myocytes degenerate, undergo apoptosis. Plus, because of chronic workload and pressure overload, the metabolic demand of heart increases. So heart needs more oxygen and myocardium becomes vulnerable to ischemia. And any of this type of lesion can occur. Hypertrophy of the wall, massive hypertrophy of the wall with or without dilation of the cardiac chamber. So what are the autopsy findings which can be seen in case of hypertension? So in antemortem finding, patient may have history of hypertension and antihypertensive drugs, or arrhythmia, or ischemic event, or cardiac failure, or renal failure. Symptoms can be related to hypertension and antihypertensive drugs, arrhythmias, ischemic event, cardiac failure, or renal failure. In signs, if there is right-sided heart failure, there is hepatosplenomegaly, heart failure cells and pulmonary edema in case of left-sided heart failure, irregular pulse if there is atrial fibrillation, decreased glomerular filtration rate if there is renal failure, hemi or paraplegia if there is cerebrovascular accident. In laboratory investigations, hemoglobin, PCV and peripheral blood smear may show normocytic normochromic anemia resulting from anemia of chronic disease because of renal failure and decreased erythropoietin levels. Urine may show protein urea. If ascites is present, there is collection of transudate type of fluid. X-ray may show pulmonary edema and fundoscopy may show retinal hemorrhage. Echocardiography shows increased mass, volume and size of heart. In postmortem external examination, if there is anemia of chronic disease, body is wasted and pale. If ascites is present, abdominal distension. If right-sided heart failure present, there will be pitting edema of the feet. In situ examination, abdominal cavity shows clear fluid in peritoneum if there is ascites. Spleen is moderately enlarged. Thoracic cavity in terminal stages, pleura can be thickened. In cardiovascular system examination, there can be atherosclerotic changes with left ventricular hypertrophy with or without left atrial hypertrophy. Sclerotic changes in coronary and carotid arteries, and heart chambers may show any of this type of lesion, massive hypertrophy of wall with or without dilation of chamber. Under the microscopy, myocytes are elongated and hypertrophied. There is increased interstitial and perivascular fibrosis. This is Mason's trichrome stain. The blue tissue is fibrosis. Liver in early stages enlarged spleen moderately enlarged with thick capsule. In respiratory system, there can be pulmonary edema and heart failure cells. Central nervous system may show infarction or hemorrhage. Hemorrhage is more common with hypertension. In kidney, what happens in malignant hypertension, because of very high blood pressure, small vessel in kidney may rupture and produce this type of small pinpoint hemorrhages. This type of appearance of kidney is called flea-bitten kidney. It is seen commonly in malignant nephrosclerosis. In clinicopathological correlation, hepatosplenomegaly is due to right-sided heart failure. Heart failure cells and pulmonary edema are due to left-sided heart failure. Hemi or paraplegia can occur because of cerebrovascular accident. Normocytic normochromic anemia is because of anemia of chronic disease in case of renal failure and decreased erythropoietin level. Retinal hemorrhages can be seen due to malignant hypertension. Increased mass, volume and size of heart may result due to pressure overload. Ascites and edema is due to right-sided heart failure. Now, cause of death in case of hypertension. It can be due to myocardial infarction or bilateral heart failure or cerebrovascular accident. So, this was about hypertension, hypertensive vascular lesions and hypertensive heart disease with autopsy finding.